can inspire the listeners who are either British or living in Britain or have an affinity for the country. What is it that made you choose the country instead of going to America where the rest of your family had gone?
How's it like? It was the exposure to the media and literature and culture since I was a kid. English being sort of my first language, but not really my mother tongue. So, my mother tongue was Urdu, but I didn't speak it enough, and my Urdu is really bad. Um, so I just have the accent, but not the ability to speak Urdu. While I don't have the accent in English, but I have the ability to speak the language. So it's language does shape a lot of what you think because I think in English, right? So there would be terms, there would be words, and there would be phrases that you would use in your own head that would shape how you think, how you relate to things, right? So naturally, you're going to start if I used Americanized English more, then I would start recognizing with them more. This is where I do have a problem sometimes because I connect with a bit of things within America, uh, and but mostly within Britain, right? So my tendency does put me as a libertarian American at some points, But I think so that was a driving force and how the language and the culture and everything shaped my view, and then my love of history. Um, I read more. The more that I read about British history, and still keep on reading about British history, the more I fall in love with it. You know, Um and it's not taking out the colonization part. It's actually including the colonization part, because there's a lot to admire in Britain about with colonization, which people don't understand that because they see because Britain, like British people, have only experienced colonization from them going outwards, right? So they've only experienced one colonization in their frame of mind, current frame of mind. But people who are like outside, they understand colonization from different parts of the world, right? So in the Indian context, the first bad colonization, the first was like way before, but then there was the Greeks that came in with Alexander the Great, but then the Muslims came, right? And their colonization was the worst for the Indian civilization compared to the British colonization, which actually in parts liberated them from the Muslims, right? So you have that context of colonization as well, that there is such a thing as bad colonization and good colonization, and that yes, when someone is making an empire, it's hard to be equitable to everyone. There would be bad things that would happen, of course, because y- you know you have an empire spanning the whole distance of the earth. But for that to come out of a tiny little island, right? That is remarkable. And if anyone says that it's not remarkable, they are being disingenuous, because that is remarkable. That is sort of like something that, like, on a smaller scale, what Japan has done, right? So even though they committed a lot of crimes and stuff like that, you can still, sort of appreciate what they have done. And compared to Genghis Khan, compared to like all these other colonizers and stuff, British colonization was really good and it benefited the whole world. The whole industrialization came from it. The laws were spread out throughout the whole world. Their better laws, English laws, which gave equality to people later on, like because of those laws were the engine by which this could happen, right? So in itself, there's a lot to admire for. And when I was not connected with my own people culturally, because I didn't agree with more and more, I didn't agree with the morality within the religious framework that they were living in, the more I wanted to connect with someone, right? And Britain was just a natural, connection for me. That's like everything that Britain stands for or used to stand for, not this wokeness that has come in, this illiberal liberalism that has come in, but used to what it stands for, the traditions and stuff like that, is something that I would stand for. And I didn't come over here to start calling myself English, because that would be foolish, right? I'm not born over here. I've come over here to set my roots so that my future generations could be. Right. So that was my intention. And that was like, well, I'm not going for money. Definitely not. Even in 2010, you would be foolish to come for money over here. I should have gone to America if I wanted to make money, right? And I would have been a lot richer and, like, more influential, maybe. I came here because I was looking for a home, and that's the truth. And to be honest, after a year, I was going to leave England, because I came over here and I didn't find England, and I came to London. I was like, this is not England. This is I've said that in the GB News as well. I did feel like Paddington Bear, because I was like, what is this? This is not England, right? I can't find English people over here. So I started moving out and out of the city, because all I could find it's not about ethnicity, it's about non-English gangs that had developed. Their non-English ways of communicating with other people, and non-English mannerisms, right? Because your national identity is not a set of aesthetic values. Your national identity is something that is very natural to you, which is very inherent to you. So you could put actual English people from Cornwall to Essex to York together, and you would find some similarities between them, a lot more similarities, which would be intrinsic to them. They don't have to even work at it. It will be just natural how they coalesce with each other, right? And that I didn't find. I didn't find people exhibiting those values, and I still don't find it. London has gone worse and worse and worse with this. So I felt really bad. I was like, well, this is what's going on in England. England is not the England that I thought it was. There's very less opportunities, and I'm willing to work and stuff, but I don't understand what's going on, who they're giving jobs to and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll just bite the bullet and go to America then, because that is the other Anglosphere that I was like, okay, fine, like I'll go over there. But that's when I met my wife, who came from Poland on her uni break, and she's the reason, because Poland is a lot closer to England, and she's very close to her family, so she wouldn't want to go to America because it's too far away for her. So that's why we decided to stay over here, and she's the reason why I said, okay, I'll stay. And then I think so I made, on both accounts, a good choice of staying over here and being with her.
Well, thanks very much to your missus for us getting to enjoy you as one of our countrymen. I think you've said a whole bunch of stuff in here that I think if it came out of the mouths of anyone else, it would probably be shut down immediately, given the climate that we're in. I think,
which is the sad part.
It
saddens me. You know why it saddens me? It's because I want to openly converse with people. I want to have an intellectual battle with people, right? Debate about those things, or not debate, but converse with people. How can you do that when the other people has their hands tied behind their back because they can't say something? They say something that becomes racist. It's an intellectually dishonest space to inhabit at times.